not postpone it to tomorrow. Because this tomorrow, even that thinking that generates in your mind, defeat it immediately. Because that's the first step towards your destruction. I mean, at least academic destruction. I'm not saying that your whole life destruction, but at least your course destruction. Okay? So do it today, do it now. Now is the right time, not tomorrow. And even for your proposal, I want you to use about at least 12 different references. So that actually, I mean, if you are a confident writer, and if you are a good writer, actually you can do it in one day. Yeah, you can do it in one day. 12 to 15 references, you can do it in one day. But you have to know that most of you have been away from academia for a while, right? When did you study a proper structured academic course last? What was your last course?
7 years ago.
Several years ago, at least. Right? Most of you. Or is anyone doing a course at the moment? No. At least we're talking about 1 or 2 years. So that's the time that you get rusty. You don't have that academic writing skills. It looks, I mean, for the proposal you need to write only 1,500 words, 1,500 words, okay? But when you start writing it, this 1,500 words would look like 150,000 words, because you get like, oh, where to start? How should I start? So you get into all sort of spiraling issues. So to avoid them, best is to start early and to know the time constraints. And so you get deadlines, very serious deadlines. The only way, I think, the only way that you can get a chance from the university is based on medical grounds. Medical grounds means this. I need to explain to you. Say that your assignment deadline is today, okay, 11:59 p.m. And you know that you can't complete the assignment, so you visit the doctor, maybe your friend, and you get a medical saying that oh, this person needs to take rest for 2 days or something. And then you submit this to the university with your request form for extension. I'm sorry, this medical ground will not be entertained. Because this is not a terminal illness. You're not terminally ill. But this is not something you bump into in a serious accident that you became decapacitated. So that medical grounds won't work as well. So yeah, please keep that in mind. Okay? And then also remember, that's the reason why I will work with you on the topic very closely, is because sometimes certain topics may not really be able to complete, because sometimes you need to research a lot inside that topic to at least to get a pass. So that's why we have to work closely on that area. Yeah? Right. Okay, next one is that the availability of data. It's another thing that you need to be careful as well, because you need to, now when you're picking up the topic, you need to have that gut feeling whether you should be able to access the relevant data you want. Because sometimes certain data that you use for the research may not be able to, you may be able to access it, but you may not be allowed to publish it. Remember, your dissertation is not a confidential piece of document. It is going to be a public document. at least the process of marking, as far as the process of marking is concerned, it will be going on the first marker, second marker, and then a moderator. That means internal moderator. That is, at least inside the university, 3 to 4 people will look at it. Inside the university, each work, okay, each student's work. And then outside the university, there will be another person. And we call the external examiner. So your work will go under 5 eyes, 5 different eyes. So whatever information that you put in your research work, your dissertation, it has, no one will give you a guarantee for the confidentiality. I had a student some time back, and this student's dad worked for Hong Kong police, quite high rank officer in PTS, Police Training School. And he wanted to conduct a research based on trainings, HR related topic, training related activities of Hong Kong police. And I immediately told him, don't go for this topic because you are touching a very serious area which can affect the national security of Hong Kong. Yeah, and he did not want to get my idea. He said, no, my dad is this, I can get it. But this is not for the master degree, it's for an undergraduate. It's a kid with a very little brain. And so he didn't want to go for it. But then the next week, he met me again and he said, sir, I want to change the topic. I said, why? I said, I told you, but you wanted to do that. Why did you change your mind? Like, my dad said, I can't give you those data. So at least his dad's got a brain than him. So yeah, so you have to know that particularly if you're going to use certain financial information related to your company, then you have to be careful. If your company is a public listed company, then you know that all the public listed companies, they have to put their financial data in public domain. You see, you get this P&L statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements, and all that. But if you are not a public listed company, you are not obliged to publish your financial data. So that means you are a normal company. So if that's the case, I think all the banks generally they are all public listed, if I'm not mistaken. Nearly all the banks. So if you are going to write a research that you need to get those financial data, you may not have much issues because you can just go to the bank's website and download these annual reports. Part of the annual report is, of course, the financial report, so you can easily get it. But if you are not a public listed company, then you need to be careful because sometimes when you use certain data, basically you are leaking information to your competitors. So that's something that we need to be bear in mind. So yeah, so you need to think about the availability of data because if you can't really get the required data, you probably have to change the topic as well. Nature of the decision, right? Right. The other thing now, if you're going to conduct your research based on your company, it's not necessary, okay, but if you have decided to write the research based on your company, so it actually covers certain aspects that you need to keep in mind. For example, if you have chosen a topic that may affect the human resource aspects of the company, particularly, is anyone working for HSBC? They are going to cut a lot of staff this year. So yeah, so and by the way, those people, they will not find it difficult to find another job because they are pretty much trained workers. They are skilled labor, so they can easily find a job in some other places. Now, so if you have chosen a topic in HR related topic, how could maybe the banks conduct their training and development activities on the staff? So you have to go through a lot of scenarios and check the nature of the decision that comes through this. Is it for improving the productivity side of the organization, or is it to compete with certain products that is already existing in the market? Now, if you really use particularly cosmetic products for the ladies, nowadays you see cosmetic products for the gents as well, but let's say for ladies, which is a matured market, you can see that particularly research and development area of cosmetic products, that is more important than the marketing of them. Because research and development area is the one that always come up with certain cosmetics that can use for different purposes. Now, in such industries, the biggest challenge that most of these corporations find is to retain the existing staff. Retain the staff, those who are engaged in this new product development. Because these staff, if they work for one company, the other companies, they always want to grab them if that company is doing well with their products. So that's why, like, if you talk about like this Biotherm and all sort of chemical and different kind of cosmetic companies, they always, particularly those who are working at the top level of research and development, those who are engaged in the actual research process, they get a lot of fringe benefits. Not only the salary, they get like share options and a lot of things that make them part of the company, like become the bosses of the company, so that it becomes their own baby to develop too. So yeah, so when you are talking about the research topic, what are the areas that you get in? What kind of a decision that you are expected out of it is very important as well. Now, remember one thing: we study these points in different, in separate form, but they are interconnected because nature of the decision can also be linked with the time constraints. For example, some decisions that you want to arrive within a certain period of time, and it may not fit into your research one year time frame. So you have to think about that as well. The biggest challenge that you have in hand is that not simply writing a 1,500 word research proposal, which I think anyone can do, even a high school kid can do that. The biggest challenge is that to expand this 1,500 word into 15,000 word, because 1,500 word is the first step. And if you pick the wrong topic, in the midway through, oh God, I can only write 5,000. Where the other 10,000 comes from? So, so that's why all these points are interlinked. Right, benefits versus cost. This is pure for knowledge purpose, because in your case, this one is very simple. The benefit of doing the research is that you will get the MBA certificate. Because if you don't, and the cost is that your money for the program and the time that you put for the program. So that is for yourself. But if you're talking about a normal research, it's not the case, because we are doing it for academic purpose. But the other people, they are doing it for survival. Thus, serious business purposes. Yeah, so the benefit side, you get decrease uncertainty, increase likelihood of a data of a correct decision. Now remember, look at the terminologies used. Decrease uncertainty. It did not say eliminate uncertainty. And they say increased likelihood of a correct decision. It did not say you can make a correct decision. Chances of making a correct decision is high. You see, improved marketing performance and result, higher profits and all that. So these are the benefit side of when you're thinking of a research topic. So you can look at it. And cost side, research expenditures, delay of marketing decision and possible disclosure of information to rivals, possible erroneous research results. So even a company like Coca-Cola, they conducted researches, and when they implemented the research findings, they got into trouble. They lost market share, they lost a lot of things. It did happen to Coca-Cola some time ago. So, so that's why possible erroneous research results. Okay. Major topics for this for researching business. So these are a few topics here. General business condition and corporate research, financial and accounting research, management and organization behavior research, sales and market research, information system research, corporate responsibility research, cross-functional